I'm going to be working on some artist trading cards. And I've kind of cheated a little. Rather than just sketching them and drawing them out by hand, I used my Cricut and I set up a template for 2.5 by 3.5 cards. And I used my Canson mixed media pad. So just to show you, this is the light grip background. So I got those. And then the cards peel off super easy. And I have my trading cards all set to go. So I just wanted to show you guys how I kind of got them started. I'm going to get all these peeled off and then I will be right back. Alright guys, so for the purpose of this video, I'm only going to be doing 6 cards. And I wanted to show you, I have rounded the edges, and what I used to round my edges is, I believe this is by Fiskar. And it's, you put the card in and you just snip. And I think it'll tell you like diameter. I don't remember which diameter this one is, but it rounds my cards for me. So for the purpose of this video, I'm going to be focusing on cards that are using only Distress Oxides, some Stampers Anonymous stamps and quotes, and I may throw in a little shimmery embossing with some of my stencils as well. And what I'm going to do is 2 of these are already going to be going out. They're designated for a friend, but in case that person watches this video, they won't know what ones they're getting. And I'm going to have 4 left over. What I'm going to do, guys, is on October 21st, I'm going to check this video and check my comments. And since I will have 4 trading cards left over, if you would like me to send you trading cards as a swap, as a thank you for following, go ahead and leave a comment between the date this video airs and October 21st saying, please enter me. I'd like a chance to win some trading cards. And what I'll do is I'll see how many people commented. I'll use one of those online number generators. So I'll give everyone who commented a number, 1 through, say there's 10 of you, 1 through 10, and it'll pick out number 2 and number 7 or something like that. And then I will contact you guys or leave a comment and have you email me your address, and I will mail 2 trading cards to 2 lucky viewers. So stay with me to the end, and you guys won't know which ones you're getting, but if you like them all, go ahead and leave that comment. So getting back to it, these are going to be my backgrounds, but what I want to do first is I want to make some backgrounds for these guys. Now I know for the Witch and Frankenstein, I'm going to want mainly like purple and greens. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 1 card. I'm going to take 1 piece of Canson mixed media paper, and I'm going to segment it into different sections for the colors I want. So for Frankenstein, I want him to be some Twisted Citron. And then I'm going to throw in some browns. So this way I don't have to hand color them. So I'm just going to throw in some Twisted Citron. Alright guys, I've made the backgrounds for my stamps. Now before I go any farther, because this is Distress Oxide, I want to go ahead and get out my Distress Microglaze. I want to get this cleaned off a little because I used it on another project. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to seal my Distress Oxides before I stamp on them. Just so that if I work in medium over them later, they are sealed in. Sorry about that, guys. So all you do is you take your dabber, and this is the Distress Microglaze, like I said. You just swirl it a tiny bit, you don't need a lot. And then you just go over, and you have to do it on a porous surface. So this only works for porous surfaces like papers or tags. And I'm just sealing it. There we go. And it locks in what I did so far. And then I'm just going to take a piece of paper towel and I'm going to buffer it. Buffer it. Like it's an internet system. I'm going to buff it. There we go. And now these guys feel smooth. And so once again, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get out my stamping platform, my Archival inks. I'm going to get these guys stamped on here, fussy cut, and then I'll be right back with you. I'll speed through that as well. Alright guys, how about that magic? Poof, they're all cut out. So what I'm doing now is before I go ahead and do the quotes, because the quotes I want to color in as well, I need to figure out what color my backgrounds are going to be. So I'm going to start one out and then I'll kind of cut to the last one, because where I really want to film for you guys is in the detail work in the end, where we're going to be embossing the backgrounds and then adding maybe a little bit to the guys. So for the Frankenstein, I'm going to do the edge with some ground espresso. And I'll just kind of show you what I'm going to do. Get my light back on. I'm just going to go around the outside with some ground espresso. And for each of the backgrounds, I'm going to pick one color because I'm going to bring in the accent color with the embossing. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to spritz it just a little. Roll off the excess. Go back around the edge to darken that. And then, because he doesn't have a lot of the brown on him, I'm just going to edge him with the brown as well to bring it in. Just like that. And there is the start of our background. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that to all the others, and I'll be back with you when I'm working on this last one. And you know what, guys? The more that I look at this, I think less is more. So I am going to show you as I do these backgrounds, because I think if I do any embossing, it's going to be just a little bit of accent. So just bear with me. I've got the backgrounds done to where I like them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to magically, again, split screen, and when I come back, I will have all of the little quotes cut out. I'm going to, just like how I made these guys, do some Distress Oxide background, stamp, fussy cut them out, and I'm going to go ahead and put the micro glaze on the background of these as well. So you guys don't have to watch all that, you can just see the fun end of them. I'm going to go ahead and do all that, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, I am back, and it is time to put the finishing touches on these guys. As you can see, I went ahead and I got all of the copy cut out and colored to match the way I wanted it. So to do final assembly on these guys, I'm going to go ahead and use some of my sticky thumb dots. And I'm just going to move some of these aside, and we'll take it one at a time, and we will wrap up these trading cards. Okay, so for Dracula, we had the black Distress Oxide, and I had used the aged mahogany along with my Crossbones stencil. And so let's see where we want Dracula to be stationed. If I want him in the center, I think I want my cards so that a little bit goes off the side maybe. Alright. Going to use a couple medium dots here. And one thing I will say to watch out for, guys, that I discovered as I was doing these is after I used the Distress Glaze on top of the Distress Oxide background, and I then went and stamped with the black Archival ink, if I started to cut out immediately, the Archival ink did smear slightly. So make sure if you're doing that, go ahead and do all the cutting you were planning on doing, or just kind of make sure you give it a hit with the heat gun, is what I'm trying to say, to make sure you dry it out. So let's get Dracula going here. And what I didn't realize I should have done, oh good, they didn't quite stick yet, is I want this up here, which is going to stick off just a little bit, and I want him down here because I want that splatter visible behind them. There we go. And this dot, you know what I think's happening? I think they're not sticking because of the Distress Glaze. So there we go. I'm going to give that a good press. Make sure I give these both a good press. And there's the first one done. Now I'm a little concerned because, well, I am going to put them in sleeves, so that hopefully that'll help hold them. There we go. I'm going to let that dry really well. So there's our first one done. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab this Something Wicked This Way Comes one. And I'm going to have her down in this corner. And I'm going to have the quote across the top. So I'm going to use one of my big stickers. And I think what also is happening is my hands are quite sticky from all the medium. So things are not staying quite the way they should. There we go. So I'm going to get her down here and let that hold. And I'm going to use 2 dots towards the center, so these guys have a little bit of bendy room. There we go. Press those down, get those to dry. And now for this one, I have some purple stickle. I had purple shimmer stickle I got in one of my Ranger mystery boxes. I wanted to go ahead and just add a little bit of that to the hat band here, just to give it a little extra something. I'm trying to spread it out so it's not too much. And maybe just a little along the rim here. There we go, and I'm going to spread it in a bit. Just like that. And then just a few tiny smears, just to give it a little shimmer. And what I may do, guys, is if I keep finding that these dots don't stick to the microglaze, I'll go ahead and I'll just use my double-sided tape, or I will glue the dots down. So there's her. I'll let that dry well. And maybe I didn't buff off the glaze enough. Gonna get Frankenstein going here. Gonna give this an extra rub in case I didn't buff off that microglaze. And what I do like about what the microglaze did when I put it on here is it darkened the colors a little, and it just gave it some great depth. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try to use my double-sided tape instead, because these are just, I guess it is sticking now. I've just got to give it time. All right. All right, let's get Frankenstein going here. Make sure I don't get Distress Oxide everywhere. There we go. Gonna put him up in the corner here. Give him a good press. And then this one says, strangers have the best candy. So I'm going to put a big dot in the center to help hold it. And then a smaller dot to the side. And I really like this one because it's subtle. So there we go, we've got 3 so far. And on this one, it was the Twisted Citron and the Wilted Violet. And on this one, I believed I used the Ground Espresso and again, the Twisted Citron. And I think I also used a little bit of old paper to give it more of a faded green. All right, on to the mummy. And again, you can kind of see how the glaze turned that really nice. I'm going to do a double check to make sure I buffed it well. So my stuff will hold. And we're going to get the mummy put on there. Him in this corner. Get our quote right there. And on this one, for the background, we have the aged mahogany with the black soot. We have old antique linen and old paper for the face colors, and then a little bit of the aged mahogany thrown in for some red. This one is going to be, again, our Twisted Citron and the Wilted Violet with the black soot. Just so if you guys, you know, if you didn't get to see me do that part, you know what we're using. And we'll add a little bit of that purple to this one too. I think I'm just going to add some to the outside. I gotta get a little shimmer in somewhere. I know it's Halloween, guys, but I've got to get a little bit of glimmer in there. And last but not least, we have the Crossbones. And on this one, it was just the black soot. Then I took a little of the candied I took a little of the aged mahogany and went around the edge. And then on here, we definitely have the antique linen, old paper, and candied apple. I may have to get some more foam dots, guys. I'm running out. Okay. So there we are. We are coming to the end. And there we have it, folks. All 6 of the Distress Oxide and alcohol ink only artist trading cards for Halloween. And like I said at the beginning, if you stuck around to the end and you liked the video, remember to give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment below if you want to be entered in the drawing to get 2 artist trading cards after October 21st. I hope this gave you some inspiration on if you just have Distress Oxides and limited stencils and just one stamp set, you can still make so many different pieces, because I can still go ahead and mix and match up all the quotes with these, change up the colors. I hope the Distress Glaze gave you a new look at how to use Distress Oxide. If you're worried about using it before and not being able to seal it, you can now seal it, and again, only if you use it on a porous surface. If it's non-porous, it will not seal. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys are having a great fall, great crafting season, and an early happy spooktacular Halloween.